Hello and welcome to another episode of Never Onside. Hi, this is Joseph, and joining me as usual is Mayur Chopdekar. Hi, Mayur.
Hi Joseph, how are you doing?
Great. What do you say? Matches are going crazy now, and
Yes.
football is, giving us so much joy nowadays. And this week has been a crazy good week because we had some amazing football matches, and as the slide suggests, a week of comebacks. So this was a very interesting week in which we planned to do a live broadcast, like a live watch along, but we couldn't do it. But that Saturday night 7:30 matches were amazing, right? We had so much drama, so much action, and we really missed it. We could have done it. Maybe next time we should keep to our promises and try to, do the watch along.
Definitely. It was a good week, good Saturday to start a week of football where matches are coming through thick and fast. So good start, and hopefully uh, the goals and drama is maintained throughout the midweek fixtures as well.
Yes. Moving on to the results of the week, we have Southampton versus United, which we'll come back to later. Brentford Everton 1-1. Then notable results were Chelsea beating Leicester City 2-1 with one man down for majority of the game, and Liverpool 9-0, and City coming back from a two-goal deficit to winning 4-2, and Arsenal as usual is a joy to watch. So let's start from the top. Did you watch the Chelsea Leicester match?
Actually, I was watching all the three games on three different screens.
Oh my
Such
God!
was such was
Yeah,
the occasion where like Chelsea started the game good as well. They were
yeah,
dominating in the initial
yeah.
phases. Leicester, like as everyone predicted, Leicester would suffer. Even being a man up, they still suffered. They are now highest for chances conceded. So it says for itself how they are struggling defensively, and losing Schmeichel has definitely not been of great joy to
Yeah,
Leicester fans
because
as well.
where Watt has not been impressive. He doesn't look that assertive as well, and I fear for Brendan Rodgers because the calls have started for his head. So let's see how it goes for Chelsea. The first goal was a bit lucky. I think it was a deflection for Sterling's goal. At least Sterling is back, and
Yeah,
he is looking promising. One goal from either of the like the assist was from either of the fullbacks in both the Chelsea goals, Cucurella and James. And the quality of the fullbacks really tells when you when you watch Chelsea matches, and when you match United matches, for example. So the balls that someone like a Dalot or someone like a James gives is completely different. The quality on the ball. So yeah, that is something to watch out. And Chelsea were not very impressive considering they had one man down. They were, and Thiago Silva and company were good. Yeah, moving on to the Liverpool Bournemouth. What did you make of this one? I had
uh,
some different viewpoint. I'll share it with you after I hear your viewpoint. Yeah.
I felt Bournemouth didn't want to sit. They were open for the challenge. They were like, you can score as many goals as you want. We'll try to score as well. Oftentimes, you see teams sitting back after they concede such early goals, but Bournemouth was all out for it. And it was a fun game in order to watch nine goals being scored. We knew they would concede quite a few because we saw City and Arsenal dominating, but this was something out of the world and a great fixture to watch. So I just felt
Yes.
Bournemouth were open, completely open, and they didn't hesitate to attack even when they were conceding goals.
Were they even worse than when they played Arsenal? Because for me, the difference with Liverpool was the intent from the start, because they were on it. I Another day I don't think they would score like 9. Another day they would score 13. But my point is that I went through each of the goals, and I felt like Bournemouth were having a really bad time and they were really unlucky. So I'll read out what I saw. So it was the first goal. Salah tried to pass the ball. It hit a defender. There was a deflection, and it came to Fermi out of the blue. Like he wasn't expecting it. Firmino turned and then gave a cross for Diaz to head it in. And by that time, the defenders were not ready. They were like waiting for the ball to go out or something from Salah's pass, but it went straight to Firmino, and then the cross came in. That was the first goal. And when the first goal came in, I thought Bournemouth were done. As soon as you concede that early, I think you're done against Liverpool at Anfield. And the second one was a Firmino assist to Elliott. So what happened was Firmino took the ball. His first touch was absolutely wrong. Like he meant to take it to the left side, but the ball went to the right side, and his whole body turned to the left, and the defender also went with it. And Elliot was there right on cue to slotted it. That was the second goal. That was very unfortunate for Bournemouth. For the third goal, you know, we have seen Trent try it a lot this season, but it has not gone in that long ranger from Trent. But this time it went right into the top, almost the top corner. Okay, so the next one was the Salah pass, which was deflected as a cross. This was a pass which got deflected as a cross to Firmino, and he just had to tap it in. So that was one of the craziest, deflections that I've ever seen in my life. And the next one was then there were two headed goals. One was for like two corner goals. One was by VVD and one was from DS. And
Yes.
then there was a on goal right in the start of the second half. Like
Yes.
within 1 minute there was one. By that time, Bournemouth were done. Like they knew nothing was going for them at that point. And then there was a keeper mistake which he should have poured away
Hmm.
from the goalpost, but he put it right into Firmino's path. So I can lay down like seven goals in which Liverpool are fortunate. Don't get me wrong that Liverpool didn't play well. I'm saying another day that chances won't come in. But Liverpool were always on the front foot, so luck favors the brave, and that's what happened. So I am not still confident about Liverpool, even though they shattered and gave a drubbing to Bournemouth. Yeah, so Liverpool are still missing something in midfield. I feel like even if they win, I'm not very confident about them. Speaking
Looks like they
about
have built their
yeah,
whole system around Thiago. So they genuinely miss Thiago and they don't have a capable replacement of putting those balls through the center, pinpoint balls just like De Bruyne puts. So you are saying it right. They need a midfielder. Even Klopp admitted that they need a midfielder, and the whole system seems to be around Thiago as of now, where he is the one who controls the tempo, gives the pass. So yeah, definitely there is something missing.
yep. And there was no doubt about the fact that nothing was missing from City's performance. Haaland, something we expected him to do from the first match, and he was delivering from the first match, but we expected him to score a hat trick, sooner than this because he was impressive in almost all the matches. And last time, I think we criticized how City played because Haaland had just 8 touches of the ball, and he gave an assist to Gundogan that day. I don't remember which match
That
it
was
was.
game week 2.
Game week 2, yeah. And this time, guess what? How many touches did Haaland have?
Probably
16.
15, 16.
And he scored a hat trick with 15 touches, 16 touches.
So that's what a killer instinct like is. So this
Yeah,
is what City lack clearly. We saw uh, in their games which they have been losing in the past crucial games. So this is how he can change the game. Initially, also at the start, City tried. A amazing stat was City considered both those goals from a 0.03 xg. So it was something very funny,
yeah.
and both most of goals were first goal was a deflection, and second goal was if I don't remember at all for some reason. How was second goal score?
One was from
Deflection, a free kick
Stones.
deflection.
Yeah, Stones.
And
Second
Anderson,
was
corner. It
corner.
was a
Yeah, yeah,
corner.
yeah, yeah. It
Yes,
was a
Anderson.
corner. Yeah.
But
Yeah, so
yeah, yeah.
Crystal Palace is somewhat like a boogie team for City, right? So when I saw the team sheet with Saha missing, I thought Crystal Palace didn't have a chance, but they had two fortuitous goals. So maybe another last season or the season before that, City wouldn't come back from that, might not come
Definitely.
back from that because Crystal Palace are very compact. So, but this season they have something up their, sleeves to,
Sleeves.
some um, weapon to throw at them, and
If
that, yeah,
Yeah. If we consider the tactical battle as well, you said the right thing in the first half. Mahrez and Silva both were operating on the right hand side, and again Palace were staying compact. They let City use the wings, but it was very easy. Both were right footed, and it was very easy to predict them. And there were no balls. Just they were playing central balls to Haaland, just hoping he catches something. But in the
mm,
second half, you saw Mahrez was taken off. Bernardo Silva moved out to the right wing. Kevin De Bruyne moved on to the right center mid, and Alvarez started running through the left channels. So it created a havoc in the penalty box, and Crystal Palace were unable to compete against
hope
that
it,
quality.
yeah,
Yes, definitely.
true,
But definitely, Crystal Palace has shown they are there this season. They can be a contender for the spots from 7th to ninth or maybe 6th, even if they push. And they are a good team to watch, a young side, and they are going in the right
definitely.
direction.
They have a good manager as well, so
Yes,
we have been impressed with Vieira in the past. So, yeah, definitely team which we are confident will finish in the top half. Yep, moving on to Arsenal as always this season, they were, they got the job done 2-1 against a Fulham side who were full of confidence and who has Mitrovic in their ranks to get the goals. And Gabriel's mistake gave Mitrovic the opportunity to open the scoring for Fulham. And at that point, I was flashbacks were coming to my mind because Fulham is a side which you can see would defeat the Arsenal of the old. But I think Arsenal did really well to come back and win. So I was reading a stat that since 2013, this is the first time they have come back to win after conceding a goal. So
so definitely Arsenal going in the right way as well, and the mentality and the change of system as well we saw from Arteta in the second half. He shifted to his 4-4-2, which is very dangerous, and Odegaard basically dropping in the double pivot, Martinelli and Saka providing the width, and Nikit Nketiah when he came, he acted as a secondary striker with Jesus. We saw Nketiah is playing very well. He has been proving why he has been given that contract extension, and definitely Arsenal seems like they have a plan B. They are just not just dependent on their plan A when it doesn't work like a team against Fulham. They are ready for the plan B, and this is what we saw in the second half from Arteta, which made that comeback possible. And I'm
yeah, yeah,
definitely impressed with Mitrovic. He's playing really very well. The last time when we saw him, he has matured quite well, and his the system in which he plays, the 4-4-2, complements him very well. So I'm very
yeah,
impressed by the way Fulham has been playing, and definitely
yeah.
they can stay up if they play their
Yeah,
cards
Arsenal
right.
are top of the table, and that stat really surprised me that in the there was a correction. I think they have not come back from going a goal down in the second half since 2013. I think. Yeah, so I'm really impressed with Arsenal. The character they have shown. The celebration after that was a bit overboard, but
But
you can
it's the moment.
understand like
Yes,
it's 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 a team that you can relate to, something like your when you're part of a school football team and you feel that everyone is sticking like we
yes,
are invincible, let's win this trophy, let's bring this home, something like that, like you want the team to succeed, you can relate to that team, like something which we could not in the past.
definitely.
Even as a United fan, I'm really impressed with what Arteta has done. And yeah, so in the Sunday night matches, Tottenham um, came out winners with a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Nottingham played really well, actually. Harry Kane missed a penalty, something, something which hasn't happened like in ages. And
Yes.
Henderson,
His
he
penalty
was
stat has been crazy.
crazy good. He has saved three out of the last five that he's,
Yes.
been.
It goes to something around 10 of the last 19 or something around that. So that's a crazy good stat for penalty saves.
Definitely. And Nottingham Forest at home, they reminded me of Brentford to an extent, right? Because that the whole stadium cheering you on
Yeah.
and the spirit, it reminded me of Brentford last year. And I feel that they have enough quality and they are signing a lot of players. Like, it's crazy how they can get Lodi and I
Definitely.
think Wilfred Bolly is
Yes.
coming. Like,
Yes.
uh,
That is their
uh,
19th signing, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, so that is crazy. Like, already they got Gibbs White, and he and Lingard are playing well. Like, they are
Yes.
connecting well. Yeah,
Gibbs
so
White
that,
definitely justified a bit of that money he's been paid to from
yeah,
the club he was taken. So yeah, definitely good signs. And hopefully next they play against City. So hopefully we can see a better side. Their good performance in that.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Let's
So
move on
let's,
to the United game,
yeah, yeah.
which we missed.
Yep. So this is the United and Southampton game, in which United came out to be winners 1-0. It was a performance which wasn't great, but another day we would have not come out with 3 points. So, excuse me. So this is the lineup: Sanchez, Rashford, and Elanga up front, and Ericsson, McTominay as a double pivot, and Fernandez almost playing as a secondary striker, because for balls into the 6 yard area, like, he was there to head the balls and he was there to tap the ball in. Yeah, so this is something to watch, because he is definitely being asked to go into the opposition box. So yeah, so this is what happened, and what Southampton did was they they looked at the first two matches and decided to go man to man almost, throughout the field, with quick fullbacks like Walker Peters and Genepo. They could, cope with the speed of Sancho and Elanga. And Rashford is not very prolific playing in as a center forward. And Bella Kocha and Salisu are really strong, quick players who are dominating as well. And they handle all the balls which is, given to Rashford, and they were dominating in the air. So that almost, completely um, reduced United's threat going forward to an extent. And what they did was, Southampton was not afraid to go into United box. So what happened was, Ward Pros would go to the right side, to overload on the right side, and he used to spray balls into the United box. And so that was what Southampton was planning. They did exactly what Brentford and Brighton did to United. But Eric Ten Hag has learned a thing or two from those defeats, and he has successfully, you know, got us past Southampton because of some tactical tweaks. So what happened is, in the second half, United were not having enough fluid movements, and also the players were not interlinking play. So what Eric Ten Hag must have told them is to make third man runs, and also to switch places. So McTominay, Ericsson switch places, Sancho came to the center, Rashford went to the right. Yeah, and Elanga was all over the place. Dalot came up front. So for the goal which United scored, this was after half time. Um, Southampton were trying to press United when Varane had the ball, but contrary to the first half, Varane decided to dribble and go forward with the ball, and this created a problem for the man-to-man marking of Southampton. So when you are marking man-to-man, the issues that you have is when someone starts dribbling with the ball, when two players interchange positions, you are not sure whether to go with your player or the player who's coming into the position you are occupying. So those two things, and also the third man run. These are the three things that can, effectively counter a man-to-man system. And Varane dribbled and progressed forward with the ball, and that is when Dalot also went into the right, and he had a link up play with Sancho, and at the end, Fernandez was there in the edge of the box to tap it in. And the day he wouldn't score that, he has missed even easier chances. Like, this was not an easy chance, but he has missed blinders this season. So um, this was good that he finished it, and considering that Ronaldo is not there, he is the main man, he's the captain, and he has been trusted by Eric Ten Hag to come up with the goods, and he has delivered finally. And this is something interesting. I think Fernandez will start ticking and scoring more goals going into the season, just like how he used to do in the season before last. Yeah. So this was the United Southampton game. Let's move on.
So let's moving on to La Liga review for the week. So as you can see, we are recording this on the Monday night, where still Athletic Club and Atletico de Madrid both are yet to play. So we are not will go to them once their results are back. While at some other places, Sevilla, who are like the last time around as well, still struggling. We discussed about them in the last pod as well, and they are still struggling. Coming now to Barcelona. Barcelona, I saw the match. It was a great match. Uh, Very good. The way Xavi set up and the way he was like his plan was, they executed it very well. Didn't give Valladolid a chance to come out of their half, press their whole team behind the ball, and Lewandowski doing Lewandowski things. Just the intentional finishing from him, coming into the right spaces. Rafinha, who has genuinely impressed me. I saw him last season in the Premier League, but definitely he has taken his next step in Barcelona, and the way he played those 30 minutes yesterday on the right wing was very good. Very happy with him. In the midfield, Pedri, as usual, doing the good work, and now he has also added scoring to his arsenal, so it will again an interesting pick. And in defense, Eric Garcia, who has been under the radar, was criticized heavily when he left City, saying that he's not the right person or he's not fit to play for Barca. But he has been showing he has been quite under the radar, but definitely he's building up his confidence and the team as well by his every performance. So a player to watch out for. The way he controls the ball and just distributes it is a dream of every manager to have a center back like that. Definitely. Moving on to Real Madrid, again they started the match with a 1-0 lead. Chouameni assisted the first goal, again displaying how he has taken the place of Casemiro and how well settled he looks in that midfield three of Madrid. Espanyol scored a goal. They were 1-1 till the 80th minute, if I remember correctly. Benzema scored a brace in 88th and 90th minute to change the course of the game. Again, there were few challenges from Chouameni where a yellow card should be awarded, but again he escaped it just like his predecessor Casemiro. So
There is
definitely
something with Real Madrid number six.
Yes,
Like,
definitely Casemiro has given his cloak of invisibility to Chouameni as well. So interesting to see things build up in Madrid. In La Liga, the things have been as predicted as of now. Let's see how Atletico perform, and we'll get back to them next week. in the once they are in the Champions League games, we can see more of them, how they pair up against good opposition. So let's move on for Bundesliga.
Yeah, so Bundesliga, finally, Bayern drop points, and that too at home. I couldn't be more happier because we have been criticizing the Bundesliga for, from the moment we started this podcast, saying that they have killed the competitiveness in Bundesliga, and Gladbach, who have been told is their boogie team. Um, Someone called Turam, who is their striker. So he has been prolific. I think he scored 6 goals since he has started this season, and it was Kamavenko. It was a different. It was a mistake by the Bayern defender, and that costed Bayern a rare,
Mistake
points
from
drop.
reference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So that is the biggest story from Bundesliga. And Borussia Dortmund won barely against Hertha Berlin. And one good news is that Bayern Leverkusen is back, and that's a first win. And also Leipzig also got their first win. Um in their under their belt. Yeah. So that is the story from Bundesliga. And one interesting match, if you guys have missed it, is between Bremen and Frankfurt, which ended 3-4. Yeah, this is some. So both these sides are sides to watch because they are coming up with some good results. Bremen defeated Borussia Dortmund in the 95th minute in the last game week. Frankfurt, as we know, can come up with the goods in matches. Yeah, so I would recommend you guys going and watching this match. Yep, moving on from Bundesliga to
League One.
League One. Yep,
So following Bayern, PSG also did the same, made their league a bit interesting, dropped points at home. Monaco, a fierce rival of them, they played out a draw. To sum up this match, PSG had those chances. Sometimes the attackers were selfish, didn't pass to a easier player in a open space. On another day, it could have been it could have been another score line, but at the end they drew. Interesting, the way they stopped PSG from center. Uh, that is what they are known for. And again, in the defense as well, the goal which they scored, uh, the backline tried to play their high line, which they usually play, and catch other forwards. But this time around, the run was perfect. Ramos stepped a bit late to maintain that line, and that's how Monaco scored the goal. To sum up, other some important results were Lille back to winning ways, scored 3 goals. Coming down to Marseille, Sanchez made his scoring debut. He scored 2 goals for Marseille. So again, the Sanchez which we know from Arsenal might be back on the cards after missing him for a few seasons. And Leon dropped points. So again, a bit interesting in the mid-table section for the second place. PSG still a bit much for the other teams, but again, let's see how it fares out. Let's move.
all right. Yeah, moving on to Serie A. After Premier League, this is becoming the next league to watch out, like in terms of competitiveness, because this season as well, Serie A teams are at it, and the competition is, really fierce, and each team is breathing down the neck of the other, and we will see a very good title, race for this Serie A season, I'm sure. So I watched the Lazio Inter match, which was the biggest match of this game week, and Sari completely outplayed Inter with his tactics, and it was a really interesting match to watch. Yeah, and Pedro rolled back the years and scored a beautiful goal as well. So it was fun to watch. I think it was one all, and then and then they moved on to win. Lazio moved on to win 3-1. Yeah, so that was the Lazio Inter match. Then Juve and Roma match, it ended 1-1. Yeah, so that was also another interesting match. Yeah, so so Juventus was not having the best of starts, but they did well to play and keep Roma away. And Milan also won 2-0. Yeah, so that was it from Serie A.
So let's move on to the Europa League fixtures, which we missed. We did a separate video for our reaction on the Champions League group. You can check out on our YouTube channel. So now let's have a look at the Europa League groups. Let's start with the Arsenal group. What do you think, Host?
Yeah. So Arsenal and PSV are there. Both should come out as 1 and 2. And moving on to Group E, where United has Real Sociedad and Sheriff. Um, this should be an interesting group, especially because Sheriff had defeated Real Madrid at the Bernabeu last time. And so this is tough. I don't expect anything to be easy for this United side because we are not gelled well enough. Any team like Southampton, if they can cause us these problems, I'm sure these teams will watch those clips and try to replicate what Brentford, Brighton, and Southampton has done. So I'm confident that they should come out of the um, group stages. Yeah, and some other interesting group is Group C with Roma, Real Betis also there. What is your take on that?
So on the first A group, I think Arsenal will easily qualify, and they will mostly play their second team in the Europa League. United might fancy depending on how the results come from the other games, and then might try to rest because the Premier League has been very intense. They have a game every midweek from now till the World Cup. So again, depends on how they get the fixtures. And as you mentioned, C group as well. Hope to see Roma and Betis qualify, but might be some interesting matchup in that game which they play against each another. Rest of it, as of now, all the groups are pretty easy. The main part will start once they move on to round of 32.
Yep.
So we'll have a look then as well. So let's move this for this week's controversy. You might be happy it's
Yeah,
not anymore related to United now.
yeah. I'm just so glad this guy has gone from United. Finally, I don't have to see his drama and and having had to defend him for the past 5 4 5 years, I think. Um, I'm so glad he has gone. Now it's Juve's problem. And this guy, I don't know how he always find a place in the tabloids. In He is in the midst of controversies always. He and his family and his brother, I never liked these guys. And what all news are coming out from Pogba's camp, like he had a witch doctor, cast spells on Mbappe, and his brother Matthias tried to extort money from Pogba. Such a
Sounds
big
the story sounds like an Indian series, drama series.
definitely,
Definitely.
definitely. Something as dramatic as a big boss. So, yeah, glad that he has moved on from United and now it's Juve's problem. And I'm sure his career is not going to take off at Juve because he's such a player with such a bad attitude in life. So, yeah.
Yes. Let's move on to FPL now. Again, host for second week running. You beat me.
Yes,
You
I'm on
scored
a roll.
81 goals.
I'm on a roll. Uh, Ever since we have started doing this fantasy content on this podcast, I've been doing good. Like I've saved
Yes.
face. in the last 2 weeks. That's the only 2 weeks I have outscored Mayur. But yeah, so this was a good week because I had discussed with Mayur and made two transfers, which I had discussed in the last podcast as well. I took out the Leicester's second keeper Iverson and cash for Sanchez and Saliba, and I had two free transfers, and they both gave 15 points. Yeah, so that helped me to climb up ranks. And having Haaland was also a plus because most of the FPL community were in a dilemma whether to move him on, and he performed, and now he has to stay in the team even if he doesn't get a full 90 minutes. And Salah, out of the 9 goals like Liverpool scored, he got 6 points. That too after captaining him, so basically 3 points. So
What are
that
the
is a big,
odds?
yeah, yeah. And the day, if you look at the score line, and if someone tells you like Salah hasn't scored or assisted, you wouldn't believe it, right? Yeah. So,
So I was
so
just
we
listening to a pod of Let's Talk Andy. So where someone mentioned him, if before the game you were told Liverpool wins the game 9-0, would you triple captain Salah? What would be your answer?
If of course,
Definitely, right?
what are the odds like Salah wouldn't score or assist? I would definitely triple captain Salah because triple captain for me has not worked out in the past. So even a goal I would take for triple captaincy. Yeah. So this is my team, and I have. Not decided what to do. My biggest concern we'll discuss in the next slide. Mayur, you can take us through what your transfer plans are if you want.
Yeah. So again, I didn't make a transfer last week. The template team looks very strong for now. Seems like this week also it will be just a bench move. Maybe Neto for a 4.4 midfielder, Murphy or someone like that, just to save up that cash and use it in the next week. Can't see any more moves to go for or anywhere to go to. So definitely interesting point where even burning a transfer might be a thing. So let's see how things work out. I'm not sure what to do, and we'll make some decision after hearing some pressers tomorrow as well. So as
Yeah,
of now, not decided at all.
yeah.
Who
So
will be
for
who will you be
yeah,
captaining the next week? Have you decided?
I think I'll stick with Salah because once you change to Haaland, that is the game when Salah would would fall, and he has a really solid match as well, right? Versus Newcastle, I
Yes.
think, and
Yes, Salah is
Newcastle
playing Newcastle.
doesn't have Maxima, Guimaraes,
Trippier,
and Trippier.
Trippier,
Three top players they are missing, and also Wilson they don't have, right? Yeah.
Wilson Leroy.
So four players, if you take them out of the side, it looks weak. And Salah would be out to get revenge this time, I'm sure. I don't see Salah, scoring like last season because he's playing a bit wide, and only after Liverpool scored a couple of goals did Salah come into the center. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But I think Salah will score definitely, and Haaland might not play enough time to trust him with the captain's armband. Yeah, that is my take. And you guys can check out my two areas of concerns which I have, which is Sancho and Saka in midfield. Yeah, we'll come to that in the next slide. Mayur, do you have any? You don't have any transfer plan, right? Yeah. So cool. Let's move on.
No.
Yeah. What is the fixture turnaround?
Yes. So this is the graphic courtesy goes to Legomania FPL on Twitter. You can follow him. So basically, here he has shown the number of days between two fixtures for all teams. So in the bottom
Turnaround
left,
time.
yes,
Yeah.
bottom left you can see green, dark green is 5 plus days, light green is 4, yellow is 3, light red is 2, and dark red is 1. So you can see here all the major teams are so cramped up in the game week 4 section. You can see Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea playing game week 4. So in this point of situation where rotations could be a huge part, right? So we
Yep.
understand now, right? It, and with the introduction of 5 substitutions as well, you can definitely see all the major players getting a rest in difference in the upcoming weeks. So definitely this is something to watch for. And so this takes us to the next slide, which we were discussing quite a lot. So can these are the 4 players which come to mind as of now. Can these be the template breakers? As of now, there is a fixed template which is giving points. There have been no major injuries. There have been no fixture changes. So most of the people are set for a template. So with the eventual crunch fixtures, do you host think can these players be the template breakers?
So the thing is, once in the last slide we had pointed out, there is room for rotation now, and someone from this four who could even come off the bench, or someone who like Haaland is going to get rested. Can you have someone like this coming off the bench, or can you put them in the starting 11? And every week these players do deliver. Like they are some of the top point getters since the season start. Gross and Rodrigo in midfield, and Tony and Mitrovic up front. So going forward in the season, I think you will need a good bench as well. Either you can start these guys because they are perfectly capable of giving hold, and if not, I foresee some people going for a strong first serve. Someone like an Andres Pereira now would turn to someone like someone from these four who have the fixtures and have the quality to turn matches and to deliver as well. Mitrovic, we have seen, is an amazing player. He has hit the ground running this season. Last couple of seasons, he did not, impress us in the Premier League. But this time, he definitely looks like a really good pick. And Tony, Brentford is a side who are, taking a lot of shots, who counter attack, who are good in the air. Like such a team, needs a striker like Tony, and he can also deliver when if we trust him enough to start him every game. I think he can also deliver if the fixtures are decent. If the fixtures are decent, he can deliver. Gross is another person. I think he's on penalties as well, right? He is also very good. He scored last game week as well. And Rodrigo is also a good player. I think Rodrigo and Gross came up against each other this week.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, so Leeds had a tough match. That's why Rodrigo didn't return. But
But the
moving
fixtures
forward,
definitely now have
yeah,
moved for in Rodrigo's favor. 5 to 7 fixtures are definitely great, and Rodrigo is now the captain of Leeds United. So Marsh has put all his trust in him. So we could definitely see him starting every game, considering the amount of rest they have. And as you
yeah,
mentioned, Rodrigo might be an option to go. I am very bullish on Mitrovic. I'm definitely planning the first 2 weeks now, once the Champions League starts, are there to just observe whatever information we can get about how the big teams are rotating. So to get an accurate plan. And then eventually, I am very, as I said, bullish on Mitrovic. I want to get him in. He's looked very good, and definitely that the thing which you mentioned, you can use him as a bench player as well. So if I remember correctly, I was watching FPL Black Box Match of the Day challenge. So in that game, in that video, Mark mentioned that he has also gone for a same strategy where he will be using Mitrovic from the bench when the main players aren't playing or might be rested. So this is something, kind of a strategy which the pro
yeah.
managers are also going for, and even I agree with it. And definitely
Yeah.
I
So
see.
yeah, I'm a big advocate of having a good first serve, especially when the Champions League matches start. So you can always bet on someone like a Mitrovic to come in and score. So, who are your two picks from one from attack and one from midfield? Your attacker would be your striker would be Mitrovic, and who would you go for in midfield?
Probably Rodrigo. If I had
Probably
to go
Rodrigo.
this game week.
Yeah. I think Rodrigo is on penalties as well, right? Gross is not, I
Yes,
think. Gross is not. Rodrigo is on penalties.
I'm not
So
sure.
that would, yeah. So that would tilt
Favoring.
my decision in favor of Rodrigo because he has Everton away and three League fixtures, if I am not wrong. Yeah. So these can be the template breakers, and I'm already people have started getting these guys in. You can see the ownership of Gross who's 14. Usually it's not that high, like, and Rodrigo is almost 30%. Yeah. So I will definitely get one of these four in next week. Probably for a Sancho or a Saka. Yeah, that's my plan.
Yes. So again, if you want to join our league code is mentioned here. It's 0 x a 8s and 0 again. So you can join our league, play against us, and check how you are faring against us. Definitely, we'll in the international break we'll try to do more content on fantasy when there is a break, and we can focus on fantasy itself. As for today, that's it from the podcast. I hope this time around, again, midweek fixtures. If we are free, we'll try to do it. If not, sorry. But again, some good fixtures here. Man City playing against Forest might be a high scoring game. Arsenal against Villa again might be a high scoring game. Liverpool versus Newcastle again might be a high scoring game. So definitely, if not watching live along with us, do watch as many matches from these as possible, and
Yeah.
we'll see you next time once after the midweek, right?
Bye bye. Yep.